Bath water.
You're like, I'm just gonna go free.
And you like mess up every resource and every part of the journey that the universe has you distinctly, like instinctly in. And you're like, okay, but I wanted mine. You sabotage it.
Yeah.
So we can. I feel like
you were in it.
you're getting what you want, but I guess you want it to be, and it's like let go,
started from
let
the
go,
top.
and let God. Oh my goodness.
We're live.
Hello, IG family. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Welcome, IG. Let the people know we are here.
If you're catching this on your timeline, stop and watch it.
We mentioned you. Hello, Quantum Wellness Consultant.
Okay.
Welcome. Honey, Mellow, welcome.
Okay.
Welcome, y'all. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Healing Conversation. This is our safe space where we talk all things healing, expansion, and growth. Firm believer, as we heal individually, we support the collective through the ripple effect of the vibration from our own intentional creation. Hello, Helen. Hello, Sandra. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, beautiful people. We got some good conversations
it's going to be a
today.
beautiful conversation.
Yes. It was one of those moments where I felt like we just had to start.
Because we were about to go in, because it's like, I'm about to press play or live, and I'm like, but this. And then I'm like, okay, Ramel, shut up and press live so the people can get in on this.
Get in on the chats. Yes. And if you're happening to watch this on Ramel's page and you don't know who I am, my name is Angelique, and I am so grateful for the space and sharing this opportunity with Brother Ramel. And I love when you all share your stories and share your insights and share your questions, because they contribute to my growth, they contribute to Ramel's growth. A lot of the breakthroughs that I've had here have been through other people's inputs, so we always appreciate y'all coming in here, sharing your thoughts and things. And if you feel like I have something more that I want to say and I can't just type it out, feel free to send a request and come
on up.
Yeah.
Show your face, share your voice, share the message that wants to come through you, because it definitely inspires me and it ignites something within me to explore what I learned through your perception. So yes. Welcome, and let's get this party started, y'all. So today we're gonna talk about, to simplify it, we're gonna talk about structure and flow. And what really came through for this conversation, because we always do a little pre-talk before we get it started. We just don't want to jump in the pool. We got to put our feet in the water, make sure that it's getting wet, and then we jump in. But we were talking about this because I know we're going into a new season. 2025 will be here in a blink of an eye, and a lot of people have a lot of things that they want to pursue, do, and create for this new chapter that we are all going to be stepping into. And one thing for myself, I always like to bring my real life experiences and what I'm navigating through into the space, so it supports me as I heal too. Hey, Angie T-Bot. But what I have ran into in regards to a block is I'm an air sign. So naturally, I just like to flow. I like to do what I want, do it when I want, how I want. And I noticed that supports me, but it also can be a hindrance to me, because sometimes when I'm in too much flow, I have no structures to support the flow. So, hello, friend.
Hey,
oh my God, I think this conversation is going to blow you away. You know the vibe. If you feel called, leave a comment, press a request, come on in. Welcome. But I noticed that when I don't have that structure, I'm all over the place. When I say I'm all over the place,
We'll watch the replay.
Yes. When I say I'm all over the place, meaning at times I have too many things that I want to do. I will have 1,000,001 things that I want to do, and I'm trying to navigate and flow through them, but I notice that I don't have the structure at times, so it keeps me in starting things, not completing them, I'm telling all my business, y'all.
Yes.
Healing conversation. This is how when
Spill
we
the
get it
tea.
out into the light, it's no longer that darkness that keeps us in
Yes.
shame and judgment. But I'll start something and then I won't complete it, or the excitement will be there and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then it starts to dwindle because I don't have the systems that supports those creations to come to light. And for me, I notice when I have the systems, when I have the structure, when I have it in my schedule, I'm knocking things out and I'm in inspired action. So I'm not forcing myself to do something, but I'm doing it because I'm inspired to create.
Yes.
And that's where just everything just starts to flow through me. And now it's not something that I am trying to make myself do or feeling overwhelmed by what I have to do, but I'm lost in doing it because time doesn't exist when you're in that space of being that open vessel and just allowing life to express those creations through you. And I noticed that that's where I am putting in my reps to strengthen that structure for myself, because sometimes we want to just be in such flow that we're just like, ooh, I just want to be inspired and I'll take action when I feel called, which to an extent that can be of service to you. But when you know yourself, and when I say you know yourself, when you know the self that you're used to showing up as, that self that you know how to work under pressure, quote unquote, how to multitask, quote unquote, how to wait to the last minute and just knock it out, that self can elevate. It can always expand into a way to where you're able to hold more things by having more structure with the things that you are in creations of. And that's where the expansion comes, because a lot of times when we are familiar with what we know, that's where we stay stuck. But are we open to what we don't know, knowing that we know we will knock it out and get it done, but we don't know how it is if we add a little more structure here, add a little more skills here, to where we're able to have that readiness. Because life is gonna life and we can't control things outside of ourselves. But if I'm not in control, but if I'm grounded, then I'm able to allow myself to be pulled versus forced what was to be expressed.
Yes. We only can't do what we don't know how to.
But we need a
Need a
system.
system. Yes. Yes, listen, if this is resonating, let us know in the comments, and a couple hearts or some fires or something, because this is definitely hitting for me. And I've certainly noticed with myself that I have a lot of ideas. I'm a very creative person, and things will come to me and things will spark up, and my mind will say, ooh, this is a good idea, we should do this. And then I'll start to see, like, okay, what are the steps? How do I go about executing this? But then I get distracted by something else, and then I go do something else. And then there are times that I'm moving in something and I'm inspired and I'm doing it, but then I get lost because I don't know where it's really aiming. And I feel like, is this actually what my soul is wanting to do? Is this actually what I'm feeling called to do as service? Is this something that the world actually is asking of me? Or is this just an idea that I have? And we sometimes have that tendency to just go through life and navigate thing after thing after thing and get lost in the sauce, not realizing that we're not headed in a clear direction. And if that's ever been you, definitely let me know, people. Let me know. Throw a hand up.
Where am I?
What you looking for?
My little mic cover, girl, it done fell on my titties.
Distracted. I will keep going while you're investigating.
Yes, go ahead, keep it flowing.
But and I really want to tap on that idea of the judgment that comes up when we switch from thing to thing, because we are raised in a society, many of us, where it's like, okay, you pick one thing, you work a job for 40 years, and then you retire, you get your watch, and everything is just, that's how the structure of life works. And I know that with this entrepreneurial wave that has come up, a lot of people are saying, okay, now you got to find your niche. Now you got to fix whatever it is that your business goal and ideas. Have your business plan and follow it to a T. But then a lot of us, when we don't have the structure, and I'm not saying you even have to have a whole business plan. It's about having a clear understanding of where you're aiming to, what you're serving, and how you're aligning yourself. And again, when we don't have that structure, when we think we should have this business plan, we start to judge ourselves and compare ourselves to other people because they're like, oh, I have this business plan and I'm going on these trips and I have this many clients and I'm doing this webinar and I have this book. And it seems like, oh, they have all of their stuff together and I want to do that and I want to do that and I want to do that. But oftentimes, again, we just don't have those systems in place. And so for me, bringing it back to myself, because I ain't trying to talk about y'all, healing myself, individual healing, right? I find myself getting a sense of like I wasted time. Like I was going down this track and I had this idea and I felt like it was going really well, but then it wasn't taking off exactly how I wanted it to because I don't have the systems and the structures in place to scale or to grow. It was just an idea. And then I'm like, dang, I wasted these 3 months, these 6 months, there's even 2 weeks, you feel me? Like I wasted this time thinking about this thing and trying to connect with these people over this. And now what do I do? And then I'm in this like lull of like, okay, now I have to reset myself. Now I have to recenter myself. Now I have to refigure out what I want to do. It's something that has really helped me navigate this because let me tell you, I'm still figuring it out. Something that has helped me to navigate this is just honoring that structure is supportive. There was definitely a time in my life when I was just anti. I was anti-establishment, anti-structure, anti-rules, anti-authority. I was like, I don't need to do any of this. I'm going to just do what I want.
I'm going to create a new wave. I'm gonna create a new way. I'm not defined to a box in a way that
I'm
it has
not gonna
to be.
do it like anybody else does it. I'm creative. But then I get lost in the weeds. And I'm like, help, I'm lost. And so I'm like
It's funny because that's how that rebellious ego wants to try to make a way out of no way, but it ain't no way when it ain't even a way to go.
And the silliest part is that people have structures and systems, yes, but that doesn't mean that you utilizing a certain structure or system is going to be exactly the same recipe as somebody else's. It's just a way that things work if you allow it. It's like when you build a house, you start with the foundation. If you try to build the roof first, where the walls? How they gonna stand up? Where's the plumbing at? How you gonna get the electrical in?
But that's real talk though.
That's real stuff. And so yeah, we're just like spilling all our beans today because the new year is coming up, y'all. And I know many of us get into that space of, oh, new me, new versions, fresh start, gonna start, hot. Just going. And it's like, okay, but what structure are you leaning into? What system are you actually going to use to support you with this? Because a lot of the reasons that a lot of us don't make it past that 30-day mark, that 2-week mark, is because it's an idea, it's an inspiration. It's not actually a habit that we're building. It's not actually a plan we have in place. So that's what this conversation's for today.
And I love that you brought that in. And what I want to add on too is it bleeds beyond just like the entrepreneur world or like being your own boss. This can bleed into a health and wellness practice you want to start to implement. It can be into a mindfulness practice, dating. Like it bleeds into so many areas. And a lot of times we resist. What we resist, we persist. Meaning when I resist structure, my life goes into more shambles. because, and I, I always got to bring a little teaching into it because that's what I do. But when you think about it too, vibrationally, whenever you're not in structure, it's hard to elevate at a high vibration because you're in the doubt, the worry, the uncertainty, which are lower frequencies, and that's where you're in that auto repeat of creations because your thoughts are going to what isn't. Your emotions, your feelings are going to the belief that it is impossible, which means that your actions are in the space of creating more things, people, and situations that honors where you are. And that's where a lot of times we're unaware why we keep attracting the same people, but we're wanting new things. Why we are continuously in the space of feeling stagnant, even though we're in movement, but we're in that space of scarcity. So the movement we're in is let me do it out of desperation because I need to make money or I need some peace. I need some peace. Let me just do this meditation and it's going to help me. But you're still in the foundation of chaos, of worry. So of course, when you're trying to sit and quiet your mind, or not even quiet your mind, but disconnect from the thoughts that are flowing in your mind, you're tuning in to the chaos because you're like, okay, if I just stay quiet and this is going to bring me peace, I'm laughing because the moment you're in stillness, a tornado of thoughts are going to come. And then that's where, if you're looking for that to be that tool that you just implement today but don't do tomorrow, it's going to overwhelm you. It's going to pull you in every other direction other than peace. You're going to be in more chaos because now you're trying to, okay, I said I was going to do 5 minutes. Okay, I'm trying to keep the structure. I'm do 5 minutes. Oh, it's a 5 minutes. Is it 5 minutes? It's only 2 minutes. What? 2 minutes? Oh, I got 3 more. And that's where you're in the dialogue of questioning, does this work? Your doubt in that it's going to support you. You're still feeling like peace isn't accessible to you. And vibrationally, you're still attracting more things that don't bring peace but bring more chaos to you. So I just wanted to bring that awareness that you are the magnet that attracts the things, people, and situations to you based on where you are vibrationally. And you can't fool this universe. You can lie to yourself, lie to someone else, but the universe always brings you what your vibrational match to. And that's just law. It's not something that, it works for some people and not for others. It works for each and every one of us. We're just, a lot of people are using the powers that they hold in such a disempowering way that they're just taking what life gives them. So as you shared like earlier, like how people are stuck in these jobs working 40 hours plus a week, doing it so they can pay their bills, doing it because they just need to survive and get by, and they're not in that space of knowing that they have more access to more than what they're allowing themselves to receive. They start to feel discouraged, they start to feel uncertain, and they start to not believe that there's more outside for them to receive. I was one of them. I questioned everything about why does others get to have what I desire and it's not accessible for me? Why do others seem like it's so easy for them to do and receive, but it's so hard for me? And I was in this fight against not only myself, but everyone else, because if I didn't feel happy within myself, I don't want you to be happy. I'm not celebrating your joy. I'm in this place of darkness. So of course your light is not welcome here. And I was in that space. So I know how it is when you're in that place of really feeling like you're down because you have no systems, you have no structure. And though I've built structure and systems in my daily practice, though I've built structure and systems in my health and wellness practice, there's still other areas that, if I'm being truthful, I know that I need to strengthen that muscle so I can have more flow to allow myself to be in all of this thing called life. Because when life is high, it's easy just to bask in that. Be like, ooh, we winning, we celebrating. But moment something come and that curveball come, it's easy to get stuck there. Even though you may have a practice, even though you may have a system or routine, if you are not in the place of having different areas that you have those systems and routines, it can support you in a more effective way. But if you only have it in one, but you're neglecting the other, that's where you would want to allow yourself to just sit with the question, how can I bleed this? How can I transmute this? How can I shapeshift this? Because shapeshift is just the energy transmutation from an area that is strong, bringing it to weak to create that balance. I just went on a little teaching or whatever.
Yes, a little blackboard moment there.
Yeah.
But I love that idea of...
And we're going to add you on in a minute, Sandra. We see the request.
Yes, we see you. Also, Sharice is saying,
Hey,
hey,
Sharice.
good to see you.
Hello.
I was like, is that another one of your friends? I find it beneficial when we can look at other parts of our life where we are feeling successful, where we're feeling like we got it and we're in flow, and allowing ourselves to say, okay, this is what having a structure looks like. This is what being consistent looks like. And like with Raymel, we see him like workout check, right? We can be like, okay, I am consistent with working out. I'm consistent with showing up for my job. I'm consistent with showing up for my family. I'm consistent with doing something in my life. But when I look at this other area, I'm not as consistent. When I look at this other area, I want to see growth here. I want to see evolution. I want to see change. But I'm not implementing that system, that structure, that consistency. How can I do that? And just knowing that we have the capacity is a beautiful place to start. And that's how we can, with business or with, if health and wellness is a place where you're not very consistent, right? With anything that you want to grow, saying, okay, I haven't been consistent with this. I haven't been regular with this. I haven't had structure here, but I have had structure in this other area. So I'm going to dissect how that happened. And then I'm going to use those systems and structures over in this area so that I can move forward with that same kind of system and structure for this new thing that I want.
And even real quick, before we let Sandra drop these bombs, I know she got some bombs to drop, but also just a question that you can ask yourself is, or even like just sit with, how do I feel in these other areas when I am implementing my structure, implementing my routines? I feel satisfied. I feel accomplished, because that feeling is what you're really transmuting into the other thing. You're bringing that feeling of where you have structure into the next, and that's where you're able to you know how we go into our small little feeling. So you take a small little feeling, oh, this feels good when I wash my dishes. This feels good when I clean the living room. And then you start to just bleed more of that feeling, and that gets you more excited to implement, versus the feeling of beating yourself down, tearing yourself down to, I knew I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do it, and you're standing that feeling doing nothing. So I just wanted to add that in. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I hope everyone is doing well.
Yes.
I'm doing really well. I'm going through some radiation. I'll be starting some radiation treatments and whatnot. And what I've learned with applying or embodying yourself, embodying the situations, the circumstances, the gifts, the trials and tribulations, all of that which our ego presents to us, because it's presenting us an outside view of the world and how the world presents those situations, those circumstances, those perspectives about what you're doing, or why you're doing it, or why you should be doing it, or why you shouldn't be doing it, and how you should feel about yourself. And it's bringing it into you. But what your ego is not doing is it's not giving you the information after that. That's our job. through whether we want to do whether we want to call it introspection, or whether we want to call it judgment, or whether we want to call it discernment, or whether we judge it, or whether we see it as happiness or sadness, or I'm what's the famous words now? I'm just unjust and unclear about anything, so therefore I do nothing. That's our choice. The universe says, your wish is my command. It has no gray area. The human being has the gray area, right? So I'll use an example. Is when I first heard, 20 years ago, I dealt with cancer at a stage 0, which meant they took the lump out. They said you have a choice. We can go ahead and radiate where they took the lump from, and that'll catch any free flowing particles left. It was something inside too. Easy breezy. Because the title of that bait that was given to my ego was, it was a stage 0. It was not cancerous, right? Therefore, I could flow in what my ego presented to me as healing. 20 years later, I go in for a breast mammogram, and not because I had any pain, guys, not because I found a lump, they just found it. And they gave me all their terminology behind it. My ego took it in and said, stop me. Why? What are we going to do now? And all the information that was downloaded from prior to anything on the World Wide Web, how people have went through their procedure, what they called it, and now you need to get this, and you need to do this, and you need to fight Big Pharma, and you need to do all of this. And my ego brought it in and said, what do you want to do with it? Right? And I'm going, well, what I want to do with it is be scared for a minute. And my ego said, okay, how long do you want to, I'm going to ask them. My ego said, and literally I heard it as if it was vibration inside me. How long do you want to resonate in that? Well, I want to be scared because it's a stage 1 and not a stage 0. It's I have to actually physically go in for surgery. And these are the information coming in from the world is real. It doesn't matter whether you call it the matrix or illusion or whatnot. You call it the matrix, that means within the matrix, your ego is presenting something real to you. What do you want to do with it? How do you want to change it? Well, if it's illusion, that means illusion is bendable. What do you want to do with it? How do you want to change it? It's the same thing with, I worked, literally, Angelique said, you worked 40 years in a company or 50 years in a company, you get a gold watch, and then they tell you after that, you grow old, you sit on your couch, and hopefully at some point, you're going to die. End of story. But does that have to be end of story because somebody else told you that's what it's supposed to be? No. That's just one perception of what your ego is showing you somebody else is giving you. And then what are you going to embody? So for me, after I was scared, it was, what am I going to embody? I started embodying, hearing my care team say, well, you've been through this before. You're going to get through this again. And then I went, yes. That's what I want to hear, right? Not with what I'm going through now. I'm going to I'm going to buck the system of Big Pharma and all those evil doctors and whatnot. That's not the story that I want. So I get to tell my ego, nope, that's not the story that I want. I want the story of divine healing throughout that flows through my body. I want the story of merging modern medicine with holistic practices. This is my story. Does it work for everybody else? No. Do I have to embody it? Yes. Why? Because the universe has no gray area. It's going to give me exactly what I want. So if negative shit is coming up in my life about me not being healthy, then it's me having to go and go, okay, what am I telling the universe? How come the universe keeps giving me this scenario? The universe is not doing anything against you. It's doing everything according to the information that you give it.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people who are jumping into entrepreneurship because everybody's telling them that's what they have to do. Go buy you a piece of land and farm, and you'll eat better, you'll be better. Go, start your own company. Don't be an employee. Don't give in to the corporate life. What if they don't want to do that?
Right.
What if they don't want to be a business owner? What if they want to be an employee and work for a company that they like working for? So are we going to show them how to take the embodying part of being an employee? Because you can be the great employee that takes on somebody says, oh, I got this project for you to do. You could be the employee that says, I'm going to take that on. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to, put my 100% into it. I'm going to embody. Yes. Right? Because that's what they want to do. Maybe they want the comfortability of having 2 paychecks every month. Maybe they want the comfortability of having medical benefits for their kids and to be able to know that their payment is coming in a timely manner. Why not? That's their expression of how they want to live. No wrong to it, no right to it, just they have to embody it.
You know what else is coming up for me with that? And I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to make sure that I get this before, things kind of roll into something else. But in this role of being an employee, it's also like you said, like you get to do things that you want to do if you're in the right aligned employment. Like you might not want to go out and look for graphic design clients, but you want to do graphic design, and there's somebody who's willing to put together the structure and the organization of putting together a graphic design business and handling all of that stuff, and then there's a person that gets to just blah-de-da come in and do the design part, because that is a skill that is needed that maybe the person who did the organization might not be the best at, or they do but they want to do other things, right? So there's different layers to it.
A perfect example myself. I started a business. It's called Marshall Account Solutions. I started it coming off of working. Pardon?
Oh no, we're saying hey to Sumi.
Oh, hi Sumi. I started this business coming off of working in an industry where I was not just a good employee. I was a great employee. I did above and beyond. I could tell you the what I did, how I did it, with my eyes closed. I could tell you, and always had customers. The customers of the corporation that I work for always saying, "Well, Sandy's not in today. Well, I'll wait till she gets in because she knows my file," or that kind of thing. So, but coming out of it, I would hear people say, "Oh, you do that with your eyes closed. You just need to open up your own business and work for yourself, have your own clients," right? And when I was in that vibrational moment of the best way to say it, I was in somebody else's flow. All right? It wasn't that they weren't excited for me. They weren't excited for what I could do. They didn't see the vision before I saw it. They probably did see the vision of what the divine wanted me to do. But I was just on their flow. I was kind of like holding on to their surfboard or riding on the back of their motorcycle or whatnot of that vibration, right? So, and this woman, she's great. She loved me. She took me. I lived in the valley at that time. She took me down to the courthouse. We set up my DBA. We set up my business. I got everything going, right? And everything was going really, really swimmingly. It got to the point where I had to market myself. And there goes the brick. She's out of my life doing her own thing. And here comes the brick wall that I hit. I don't know how to market myself. I don't know how to market my company. I don't know how to do advertising. You know, all these things.
So
It's
I have
not,
the
I
skills
don't know,
of the
I
thing to
don't-
do, but putting it
Right.
out there is a whole other thing.
Yeah. So I'm looking, I know that I've got the gift and talent, right? So here it goes on a back shelf. Go back to, you know, now I'm working at another company that's not for my highest and greatest good, you know, kind of thing. And now I'm unhappy because I feel disillusioned, right? Okay, and it's not her fault. She's very embodied about me, but she went on because it wasn't the time. It wasn't, what do you call that? It wasn't her moment to feed that or to flower that seed or water that seed.
Or it wasn't your moment to grow it. You know, maybe it was meant to
Right.
be planted, and you say, okay, I'll keep this and I'll grow it a little bit later. But that's kind of what we've been
Right.
talking about. We get that enthusiasm, and then we just kind of throw everything to the wind and say, I'm gonna do it. And then
Here it goes on the back burner, right? And it stayed on the back burner until COVID, right? And once, you know, COVID hit, and you know, I got laid off from a job. I got laid off from a job that I was unhappy with anyway. It wasn't for my
you're
highest
like,
and greatest
thank
good.
you.
Right. So it wasn't. I wasn't petrified or anything. I was just, okay. I got laid off. The I was going to say problem, but it wasn't a problem. It was what you knew was going to happen. EDD. When that ran out, they were not taking calls anymore. They were, according to them, so over inundated that they weren't taking calls. So I had to do something, and I had to take that business off the back burner, bring it to the front burner, and then I had to. I think I had 2 years to go before I could retire. So I had to retire. Oh, look at that.
It's like,
It's like you made it.
And literally, guys, I did. I had 2 years to go. I had to sit and go, okay, you know, to myself, and I said, okay, I think it's time for me to retire. The moment I said that with embodiment, right? When I called, literally, where you think you're going to get an automated, you know, an automated
Messaging.
wait on, and you know, wait for 12 hours for somebody to come on. I got a real person the first time. I got a person who had intimate conversation. When I mean intimate, they, you know, they asked how you doing. They asked, you know, okay, what do you want to do with this? They asked all the embodying questions that, you know, I was supposed to ask even before I picked up the phone and made that call. What do I really want to do with this, right? So 2 things were happening. I took something off the back burner going, what do I want to do with it? And it stayed on the front burner simmering because I couldn't get it to formulate, because the thing was, I didn't want to do accounting like I used to, and I didn't know that. I was doing it like it was presented to me in the past, right? And it's not the fault of an old program. It's the old program is going to keep showing up until you decide to change it. What do you want instead of it? How do you want to expand or grow or become? So for me, it took all of those things to, you know, be honest with myself. There was things that I didn't know. Having a business, I worked all my life with an IT department. In a company that was provided for me. Now in my business, I was the IT person.
You're the IT, you're the advertising, you're the accounting.
Everything.
You're the
I
HR.
could do the accounting because I was an accountant. I could do that part. I could do that back end, but I didn't know, right? So it's not, for me, it's not that I I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know how to best do it.
Yeah.
So I had to sit with it and go, okay, who do I need to ask? I had to give to the universe. Okay, I need somebody that's going to come in and help me with this industry. I need somebody that's going to come in and help me, even though the form of currency in dollars and cents didn't flow, right? I needed to know, am I going to collaborate with somebody? Am I going to barter with somebody? How's it going to flow? What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Those are embodying aspects of what you want to do. And what I want people to know is you don't have to desire to be an entrepreneur just because somebody's telling you that it worked for you and it's great for you and you need to do it. You don't have to go buy a parcel of land and grow your own foods and stuff just because it worked for them. You have to sit down and really ask and embody what you want for you, because this is your expression of life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's the same thing with being a vegan or a vegetarian or being a meat eater or whatnot.
Or
You
being
got
a
everybody
parent or
telling
anything.
Yes. Somebody asked me last night. They wanted to know, because they wanted to like make sure they could make me soups and different things while I'm going through my healing process with the radiation treatment. And so they said, hey, I just need to know, are you vegetarian, vegan, or or do you eat a little bit of meat? And I just laughed with them. I told them I don't love vegetables enough to be a vegetarian. I don't love tofu enough to be, that way. I just don't. That kind of thing. I just bring it fast and forward. Now I don't eat beef, but that's only because beef makes me constipated.
I'm tying it together,
but I eat
and I'll see if
chicken
this
and
is
I
gonna
eat
help him.
I eat chicken and I eat some fish, but
experience. I get it. I don't know.
that's
We'll try.
That's it. But I don't cave to being something that other people want me to be. And you could come on my page and diss me for it, but your opinion really doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's not if it's not from a higher and greater good of me and my expression, keep it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And I still give you one love, and I'm not going to invite you off of my page. I'm just going to let you know that that's not me. Right?
Yeah, and it's important to stand on that. Yeah, it's
Right.
important to stand on that because, like you were saying, we often get so distracted by what other people perceive of us. I often tell people when they're asking me certain things that I eat plant-based because I want to make sure that I'm honoring my body. But there are some times when I will eat a piece of chicken if it smells good, you feel me? But I also don't really enjoy the taste of meat that much. Like I used to eat it very often, but I love vegetables. I can eat just like some rice and some beans, some lentils, some tomatoes, like little chopped up some onions, some cucumber. Like I love vegetables and plants and things. But I will still eat it if I want to, because there are things within my own body that enjoy that. You feel me? But I really
and I love real
appreciate
quick
that.
just to add in is also like we were kind of talking in our pre-game talk of, and I love that you brought this up, Sandra, of not getting pulled into someone else's flow or creation, not riding their train thinking it's going to take you to your destination. And that bleeds in so many areas, and a lot of times we don't have that structure. When I'm speaking structure in this sense of the structure of really finding ways to uncover and reveal who we truly are and what our true gifts are, what our assignment is that we're meant to complete before we're done using this vessel. Then it's easy for someone else to throw something at you like, "Ooh, you should be vegan because it's healthy. You should work go be an entrepreneur because you'll make money." And if we don't have that structure and that system of knowing how to stand in our own groundedness and listen to our own inner voice, then of course we're gonna get pulled into every direction and try to jump on this train. Where is it taking you? Oh, I think it's in direction to my path, so I'm gonna go with you. And then it's taking you opposite way of where the universe is leading you. And then that's where you feel like you're starting over. Or it's so far ahead, but you weren't honoring your own systems, your own structures, your own space of knowing like this is what pulls me, this is what ignites me, this is what feels aligned with me, versus you're just trying to taste someone else's dish thinking it's gonna taste good, and you don't even eat what they're cooking. So that's where I love that you brought that in, because a lot of times we don't know what we want. We don't know what ignites us. We don't know what excites us, and we're just trying to borrow someone else's excitement or their pull to just get a fix of knowing what it feels like. But I could be in the kitchen with you, but I can't eat the food for you. Meaning I have to eat the plate that was given to me, that was served to me, and enjoy it for me. But I can't do it for someone else. And I just love that this is where, and I knew it would lead to this, because this is where a lot of people need to hear this. Because a lot of times people are not living their lives for themselves. They're living for their families, for significant others, for their friends, but they're not living for their own joy. They're living like, well, this brings you joy, I'm gonna do it. This makes you happy, I'm gonna say it. And when you think about it, it's like, well, are you happy? Are you enjoy? Are you just that full-time people pleaser that's performing for others just to get the applause, but then you're not even giving that applause to yourself?
I love that. My mother used to always say that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You really can't. You know.
Oh yeah, Sydney. And Sydney also says observation of integrity is wounded realms, but a healed womb is understanding. I see you, Sydney. And Sydney, I see you send a request. If you want to come in, put a heart, and we'll definitely add you on.
Yes.
But I want to sue me.
Yes. What's up, girl? Tell us what's going on when you sue me. I know you've been
there's nothing much really going on my end, but it's definitely lots of excitement with the times and everything that's happening around. One thing that's coming up for me though, due to this conversation, is how much we are actually willing to also let go of in order for something beautiful to come out of for us and to come out of us. And what is taking me back to is my conversation with a friend just a few days ago, where he goes, well, I have about 2,000 people in my contacts list or something, in his phone contacts. And I said to him, I was like, oh, when I'm looking at my contacts, I only have about 60 or 70 people. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be going through my phone contacts list to like take off people and even bring down the list further. And he was shocked. He was like, what if 5 years from now you're not able to, you want to talk to someone and then you figure out that you had taken them off your contacts list? And I thought, well, okay, this is a very interesting conversation. So let me try my best to like break it down according to my own my thinking and what I know. So for me to get anything good in my life, I go through house clean. Okay, when you look at the people that are probably in your mind doing the best, they have reduced their friendships to people or to things. They reduce the amount of places they go, amount of people they probably talk to on a daily basis that's not bringing them and making them their highest possible best person. Everything that basically does not work is basically gone from these specific individuals that we try to attribute, to look up to be like in some type of way, right? So for me, reducing my contacts list, I'm able to start inviting in much more highest people that are in my path that I can then add on to my contacts list, because I have let go of the old. It's not the thinking perception of, because I may need you in 10 years, I'm going to keep your phone number. That is a way to sort of close ourselves in a corner, because what we're saying to the universe there is, then I'm not open to getting new people. You know, I'm so used to these old lists. I'm so used to this way of doing things. I'm so used to these persons, even though they don't like me, even though they hate me, even though if I were in their midst and I told them that I was sick, they would not even care shitloads about me. Even though this, but then I'm still going to hold on to their phone numbers. For what?
Right.
So it's the same thing with our drawers. It's the same thing with the papers that we've been keeping and the books that we've been keeping from the house we bought 25 years ago that's still sitting in the drawer. You know, it's the same there. So I am always cleaning house. I'm always going through my stuff. I went through my kitchen drawer last weekend, and I pulled out all of the spoons and the, you know, forks and knives that's like crooked and nobody ever uses. I'm like, okay, in the bin.
Like, we're done with you.
You know, so that way you're opening yourself to more possibilities, more newness, more beautiful things. Because when we have new things come up, you know, it's time for another challenge. It may be good, it may be bad, but I'm ready for this challenge because I've been told. And because these things have happened in my life, I'm going to start to understand why they happen. Instead of me getting pissed about them, how about I research them? How about I get to know more about it a little bit in order to make my life better? So it's so much about, you know, sticking true to the person that we say we are. Because a lot of us, the reason why we've not evolved is because we don't want people to see the trueness of who we are on the inside. We're just so scared. And it's the person that you are on the inside when no one's watching. That is actually the real you. I swear to God, that is the real you. That is what you're supposed to let people see.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back in time to companies that make the most money in businesses, people that make the most whatever, and they're, you know, maybe living okay. You know, they had to shut the world away. So it's a lot to do with how much can you take when spirit comes calling? How much can you take when your guide comes calling and say, hey, it's time for you to live? Are you going to sit still or are you going to take that lick? That's what they're talking about. So it's a lot of, do you actually listen to yourself, right? So I have had to walk through, guys, I've had to walk through myself every single 5 minutes, every single day. You know, my kid will come to me and say something, and then hours later, Spirit will be like, do you know, Sumi, that this? And I'm like, now I get it. You know, so it's a lot of clicking that we simply is right in front of us every single day, that we need to soften ourselves to be able to see them, to tie into them, right? You know, a lot of people talk about authenticity, and I was in conversations with a close friend of mine a few weeks ago or something, and then he goes, well, this about this people, and this about blacks and whites and Hispanics and everybody. And I said to him, I said, you know, you're right in some areas, but at the same time, what if these people don't even know that these things exist? And what if they don't even know that they have these traits about themselves, and that's the reason why they behave the way they behave? Because we all go about and say, that person did this, so I am pissed, and I am, you know, upset, and I'm angry, and I'm never going to talk to this person again. Well, how about they don't know? They knew how to behave the best way they could behave. They really do not know, if you think about it. Because if they did know, they would walk the walk. Jesus knew, so he walked the walk. That's the difference, right? So for me, another thing that's coming up, so I can, you know, just say this and shut up so you guys can talk, you know, is the power of understanding. When you're able to see things for the way they are in some sort of obstructive way, I don't know how to put it. It's like it's there, but it's not really there. You're able to be much more open to a lot of other things, because then you're able to understand things and why they happen. So for me, those are some of the things that has been coming up.
Show me. You just came with the tsunami once again. I expect nothing less. But I love that you
I
brought.
love that, you know,
No, go ahead,
we
Sandra.
assume,
Yes, ma'am.
that if they know,
Yes, ma'am.
they would do things differently. But sometimes people know, or they have
Yes,
a
ma'am.
calling, but they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to do something different because they're still caught up in the what you might call it, the programming or whatever, and it's not a good or a bad. It's not you know,
an experience.
it's an experience. It's an expression. It's a higher being. I mean, if you want to get to that level where you having a conversation with your inner higher being of why it came and it chose your body and what it chooses to feel and how it wants you to show them what love looks like or feels like, what uncomfortability feels like, what detriment to your highest and greatest good feels like, or what you know what being unhealthy feels like, or any of these stories that are constantly moving. Your higher being is saying, "Show me." You know, for me,
You know what I'm saying?
for me,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
higher being is saying, "Show me what you're going to do in this story of stage 1 cancer. Show
Yeah,
me
and
how you're going to, yeah, show
are
me
you
how
cancer
you're
free
going to
right
feel.
now?
Show me what where you need to go from being afraid to taking on the information that you need to give you the embodiment of health and wealth and well-being for your growth." And then when I went, oh, so it's not just my body and my spirit, it's not just my my spiritual guides, it's not just my generational peaks, it's not just, it's my body and it's my higher being saying, "I chose you, Sandy, for this journey. Show me." You know, tap in to the unit embodying and take me to these places, you know, to take me through your growth and your expansion and your process. Some people will never, you know, some people will never come out of their lonely place. But it's not for us to tell them, well, you know, you better come out your lonely place. You better come out your misguided place. No, they're just going to be in that place until something activates them to come out. And even if they come out, they might go back in. That's just the growth. It's not that they haven't grown and expanded. It's that they've grown and expanded in their fear.
And I feel like experience is the highest vibrational frequency of love. Because how can you experience something that you've never understood? And I feel like misunderstanding is acceptance, you know? And if somebody accepts me for my misunderstandings, I feel like that's who I'm supposed to be. Because how can you love me and I couldn't even love myself? And you know, this is like, I was like earlier just crying, just listening to you, Spiritual Healing with you too, both of you, and that turquoise is beautiful on you. It's like, how can I be, and I love your nails too. How can I be accepted in my life when I couldn't even accept my own existence, you know? And it's like love, how can I accept love within my realm? It's just like I feel like I'm a crash out test dummy, real shit, because you know, and my baby father, he was like, don't ever say that because you are love. And you're a more existence of reality. Before that, like, he was like, basically, I love you and I see your value within you, but I couldn't see the value within myself, and I still don't. You know what I'm saying? So how do I heal? You know what I'm saying? Because I cry and I'm just like, how can I be acceptant and but God loves me because I'm existent. You know, thank you for listening to me. I feel.
Yes.
So, is it okay for me to
Yes,
jump in?
yeah.
Okay. All right. This is so powerful that you're saying this. I literally just posted a video early today on something similar where I said, not until I accepted myself for the BS that I was to myself was when I started to grow. That was the beginning of my healing, was accepting to myself, Sumi, you've done this to yourself, you've taken these paths, you've taken these roads in life, you've done that and that and that, and this happened to you. BS happened to you.
Yes, ma'am. And it's like,
Happened to you. Beauty happens to you. Sickness, accidents, whatever it is happens to you. So because these things happened to me, I accept that I put myself in this situation. I accept that I'm the creator of my own reality. I accept that I did these things. I accept that even though I feel in some ways that I did not know, but somehow I did know. I accept these things about myself. I am beautiful. I am amazing.
oh, thank you so much.
God, I know you still love me. I know you love me in my good health, in my ill health, in my bad health, in all of the situations, the bad choices, the good choices. I know you love me.
I am a
For
bad
that
habit.
reason, I'm accepting myself. Here I am opening up myself to you to help heal me. And please tell me what to do next. In accepting ourselves for who we are and the BS that we are to ourselves sometimes, we are opening up the door to more healing. It's nobody that's doing these things to you. It's nobody that's trying to kill you. It's mostly us attracting these things and people to us.
Exactly.
And we have to understand and call ourselves out for who we are to ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. And it's like, at 3 years old, I was molested by my father. And it's like the healing from this is like, I need a community to accept me for who I am. Who can I vent to? Because why can't my family are you? I have no family. You know what I'm saying? Besides my mother and my little sister, I love them to death. And it's like, thank you for letting me vent. But it's like God is existence. I love her so much. And it's like, and then Archangel Uriel is like, he wants to allow us to be in existence, but it's just like, I can't, you know what I mean? And I have a bad habit, I'm a drug addict. And it's like, but how can I heal? But what if this is my healing of existence? How you have to accept me for who I am, Archangel Uriel. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit.
I thank you for, I want to share real quick. I want to thank you for using your voice and allowing yourself to really receive the love and support, Sydney. And even like just speaking the truth of what like Sumi was sharing, like about acceptance and really being real with ourselves and knowing what we are still not facing. And the reason why this is so powerful, I want to just bring this into a awareness moment. It's so powerful because we're bringing the darkness into the light. And whenever we're stuck in the darkness of something that we may be ashamed of, we may feel guilt about, we may judge ourselves about, it holds power over us. Because that shame, that judgment, that guilt, we're hiding it from others. So it's like, let me put on this mask and be this person that you want me to be. But as the Sumi is saying, but when I'm with me, this is who I am because this is what I know. And that's where we feel stuck in that shame. We feel stuck in the judgment. We're stuck in the darkness, and it's hard for us to receive others' lights. It's hard for us to even see our own light because we're like, who am I to be a light when all I've known is hurt, heartbreak, and pain? And that's where a lot of times.
What if my reflection has no mirror? You know what I mean? What if my reflection has no Like, you know, and
Well, the thing is,
God allowing me.
Sydney,
I love
it has a mirror. It's just you're not able to see it right now because it's fogged by all the things that you're still maybe running away from. Because even in the sense of, as you shared, and thank you for sharing how you are moving through addiction. You see how I didn't say you are addicted. I said you're moving through. I'm claiming your future in the present. So you're moving through addiction. Even the fact of that is right there. Just it's your physical manifestation of numbing. So addiction is when we're running away from feelings. So let me go and lean into the substance and whatever that may be to avoid. So in a sense, we've convinced ourselves this makes me feel a certain way, so it is my escape. And to bring awareness, addictions have, in a sense, been a way to support us through those hard experiences. So it's not even shaming the addiction and even bringing that to the light with love and saying, you know what, it supported me. It's provided some security and safety for me. It's gave me wings when I didn't feel like I could fly. So it's helped me, but it's now having the awareness of what do I choose for me?
Right.
What do I choose? What do I choose? And knowing that when we make that choice, it's not going to be easy. Let me not say you make a choice today and your life is all magical tomorrow.
What do I choose? And that's the first step. That's the first step.
Your life is a roadmap. You get to choose through your likes and through your dislikes, through your loves and your hate of things and people, and making choices and making a choice and going, oh, I really didn't like that choice, is all a GPS to what you want to do next. And the light, there's light within you. You just don't see it yet, but that's okay, because your ego is showing you a certain perspective of yourself, and then you get to say, well, thank you very much for showing me that. I want to see something else different. And your ego will say, I can't show you that, but keep going within, and that light is going to say, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of light today. What do you want to do with it? Your ego is going to say, hey, here's some light. What do you want to do with it? You know, and you get to decide, oh, I want to give this light to this addiction that I'm moving through. I want to shine some light on it so it can show me why it's here and why it's trying to what it's trying to hide from me.
Actually, you know, it's like online, because everybody think I'm trolling, because I am a crack addict, and it's like everybody think, you know, just saying like just trolling and all of that. It's like this is my truth, and it's like, you know, I want to heal, but at the end of the day, it's like just healing through this vibrational frequency is giving me strength. And at the end of the day, I love you so much. I wanted to cry, but y'all healed my tears. My tears are dried up because of your love. I love you so much.
And I invite you to cry, Sydney. Let it out, girl. Let those tears out. Those don't make you weak. Those actually strong.
Yeah, tears are a part of the
healing. Tears are the vibrational form of surrender. Don't let your tears dry up without giving it direction of where it needs to go and what it needs to do. It's vibrationally taking something out of you that doesn't belong there anymore.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna get off of here and what you say with that word, and I'm gonna meditate. I love you so much. I love all of y'all.
We love you too, Sydney, and welcome to the tribe. We here every Saturday, Healing Conversations. Come get your love. Come get your support. Come get your healing. You are not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone. Lean in.
Come get you some Raymel and some Angelique.
And some Sandra and some Sumi, because we all are in this oneness tribe, and you got so much love and embrace, and we see all of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I love you guys, because I needed you today. So thank you. It was like, did I miss them?
Alicia.
You know, because I had so much going on. Did I really miss it? Did they not do one? And then as I was thinking about it, there comes the
like,
pop-up, you know, Raymel going live. It's like I didn't miss him.
Yes, we're glad you're able to join. You always have such beautiful wisdom, and I've also noticed as you've been going through this journey, you've opened up a little bit more, and I'm grateful that you have found the courage and the strength to stand in your healing and know where you are so that you are able to share your testimony, because so many people are going through different things, and hearing that you are navigating this condition and that you have your head and your mind and your heart set in the healing direction. People need to hear that today. So I really appreciate how you've allowed yourself to process and take your time, you know, didn't just jump off in the beginning and just be like, oh, I'm going through this and da da da. I really honor that maturity.
I needed to find out for me.
Merry Christmas.
I needed to find out for me the information as they're giving it to me. I needed to allow myself. At first, I was, blocking my ego from saying, why, because I thought my ego was going to say, why me? Blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't. It was trying. I had to sit with it a while. And I said, okay, what do you want to say? And I had to ask and my ego said, why now? And then I said, okay, you want me to ask that question? I'll sit and ask my higher being, why now with this? And the why now is, I've been an advocate of people who are coming into their awakening. They're just coming into their awakening with wherever they're from, whether it's they have illness going on in their life, whether they're addicts or things that they're going on, and they're coming into the spiritual awakening as what we might call newbies, thinking that they have to give up everything that is medically going on with them, all of this, and they have to dive into an area that they're not strong in yet. That they're not, steeped in they're not rooted in knowing that their body can heal them, that their body can support them, that ask, believe, and receive. They're maybe in the vibration of asking, but they're not in the embodiment of receiving. Therefore, if they come off all their meds, if they stop taking their meds for their mental and whatnot, then they're just left out there to spiral downward, right? And for me, my page, I don't want anybody dying on my watch, because I'm telling them be spiritual, go find your holistic health practices and not know about embodying themselves and what they really want to do and how healthy they really want to be and see that health. If you want to be peace, be the peace. But if we're not showing them the peace, that kind of thing. So I'm talking about people, merging their medical or the medical industry, their doctors with holistic, merging Western medicine with Eastern medicine and merging it and knowing that they're the creator. That they can go, if you want to be healthy, you're the creator. You're creating the situation, the circumstance. You're creating the illness and the divine health that's moving through your body. You're a creator. And that's what the divine said, this is what you asked for, Sandy, to know how to do that. Well, how do I know how to do that first if I don't do it with myself?
Experience yourself, right?
If I don't practice this, if I don't embody it, if I can't tell somebody not to be fearful if I'm pushing away fear.
Hey, Yolanda. And I want to just highlight two things that I'm the one who always break the meal down to make sure everybody can eat it. I'm the friend, I'm the family that's like, oh, this is too big for them. Let me cut this up and save it to them. But two things I want to highlight is you keep hearing Sandra say the word embodiment. And I just want to just support others who may not really know what that is or even how to digest, process, and implement that. Embodiment is nothing more than you being the person who has the thing. So when she speaks embodiment, embodying this healthy person is, what can I do now? What action can I take now? What thought forms can I think now? What feelings can I feel in this now moment that supports the results, the outcome that I want to experience? So embodiment is just getting into the frequency. It's getting into the mentality. It's getting into the the action of that person or of that thing. Well, more so that person who has that thing, who is creating that experience. And embodiment is really the magic key to the door of opening up the infinite, limitless possibilities that exist, because it's just the energy. Y'all, we're nothing more than energies. We are waves and particles and electrons and neutrons, which creates this what we call matter. And it makes this physical experience. So that's why even when you're experiencing addiction, illness, poverty, heartbreaking, and pain, the physical manifestation is just based on, and I want to speak this because a lot of times we're like, but we get lost in the outside. So it's like, but what about this person, what they're doing, or this person who died? And it's like, we can't control that. That's not within our control or reach. But what we can control is, how do I choose to show up? AKA, how do I want to embody the power that is within me while I'm having this experience? Do I want to be the victim? And if I'm the victim, then, oh my God, why is everyone dying? Or why is everything turning away? Why can't I catch a break? That's the energy I'm in. Action that is given. Just like social media, if you scroll on a reel and you're watching it for more than 15, 30 seconds, guess what you're going to see in your timeline? More content from that person of the reel in which you were watching, more things that are in alignment with that content that you were watching, because that is now in the algorithm of what it is that you have tuned into. So the internet shows us how the universe operates. You're tuning into this, you're giving your energy and focus to this is what you want to see more of, so let me show you this. That is how it is when we're focusing on illness, heartache, poverty. If you're focusing on this and you're giving it your focus for more than 60 seconds, now you're going to see more things that honor what you're focusing on. And it's literally hocus pocus. Now, this is where the abracadabra it is given, because literally, it's like if you never, like, say if you had a friend who got a blue car. You've never seen, they say if they got a blue Mercedes coupe, tinted windows, you've never seen that until that friend got that car. Now what you see all day, every day, blue Mercedes coupes with tinted windows, and it's just, that's life. It's showing you. You give your energy and focus, meaning you're sending a signal out, I will always send you what is in alignment with that. So when we're speaking, when Sandra's speaking embodiment, when we're speaking embodiment, you being the energy is what you attract and experience. So that's where I just wanted to bring that awareness to it, and also the awareness of what Sandra's speaking in regards to, she is leading by example through her experience. A lot of times we will get a little information, try to take you to a destination that we haven't even reached yet. Who am I talking to? Because I was that. When I learned about the universal laws and energy, I couldn't even eat the meal before I was trying to serve it to someone else. I'm like, well, I don't even know if it's good. It smells good. It tastes a little good. Eat it. Not even knowing what I was serving to people. Because I hadn't taken it in yet. I hadn't digested yet. And I had to learn how to process, digest, implement, and then I can lead by who I be, not what I do. Because who you be creates what you do, but if you're doing something that you aren't yet, it goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. There's no structure. There's no systems, which doesn't allow it to flow through you. You're forcing it to come out of you. It's like, instead of I got a burp right now, I'm not letting it out, but I'm trying to... It's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to make this flow out of me. I'm trying to make it come through me. It ain't ready yet because it ain't flowing. You know it's flowing because I'm letting it out like it's nothing. But I bring the jokes into it because humor allows the mind to digest and process complicated things. But I just wanted to highlight that because a lot of times we are embodying the things that we don't want because of who we're showing up with, how we're thinking and what we're feeling about it, and just knowing that we have the ability to shift, to shape, to move through anything. But are you willing, like Sumi was saying earlier, to let go? Are you willing to let go of who you know yourself to be? Are you, because even it goes beyond a physical thing. Are you willing to let go of those thought patterns, those stories that are keeping you in prison? Are you willing to let go of those tears that want to be expressed through the emotion that brings the feeling that allows them to flow? The moment you're willing to let go is when you have space, like Sumi was teaching us earlier, to allow those new things in, because you can't ask with closed hands and think you're going to get something. You have to open it up. And then the universe says you're ready. But often we're not ready. Like you were saying, Sumi, earlier, like when we're by ourselves, we know ourselves. And you know you ain't ready, but you're trying to tell everyone, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for my blessings. I'm ready for my husband. I'm ready for the money. And it comes and you're like, oh, shit, this is too much. Gotta go. You sabotage it.
Yeah.
So make sure you're ready for what you're calling in by being, as Sandra was saying, the embodiment. Which allows the things to be something that is not even something you are looking forward to. It's just something you know it's already happened. Because it's not even something that's going to happen. It's already happened. Things are experienced twice. Once in the mind, the second time with the eyes. It's first experienced through imagination, which becomes a manifestation of the physical reality that we experience. Let me pause it, land in the plane, because y'all would give y'all a whole master class. Land in the plane.
No, but see, that's the truth. When I first learned about, the first time I went through this, my stage 0, which is what they called, I was learning about the law of attraction. It happened tandemly. So I was learning how to take this information that they were giving me, and mind you, 20 years ago, they weren't giving you a whole lot of information like now. They kind of overload you with information, to make sure you know everything and make sure that you have, you can have a decision. You can be a decision maker, right? I was learning about the law of attraction. That was about 2000, I think between 2003 and 2006. That's when The Secret came out. And, the law of attraction, that was the whole big thing. And people were saying, well, I'm doing it and it's not happening. That's a bunch of malarkey. That's a bunch of bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And I would sit there and I would say divine, but they're not embodying themselves. They don't really, they're not asking themselves why they want this, why they need this. Okay.
Oh, we can't hear you.
There we go. So I said, how can I help them? Well, the divine said, well, you're going through what you're going through right now. Start applying it. And it was like, you already tried and got your cup of coffee from Starbucks. You got a free cup of coffee. Actually, I was in line and I was, I was counting pennies. I was counting change, finding all the change because I wanted a cup. I knew by the time I was going to get to order where I needed to order, I was going to find all the money. I just could see myself reaching for that cup, right? So literally, I had all but a penny, right? But I said, I'm going to get this cup. I'm going to get this cup of coffee because I really need this cup of coffee. I really deserve this cup of coffee. I've just, came from doing my radiation treatment. I'm going to treat myself. This is going to happen, right? So I ordered the cup of coffee, and what happens is they usually have like pennies in the little on the counter where the person, if you're
take a penny, leave a penny.
Yeah, they do that. So I went to hand the I think it was a young lady, and she had a great big smile on her face, and I went to hand her money, and she pushes my hand back and she says, oh, today is pay it forward day. This gentleman just paid for your coffee. Right? And I was like, this is me. Holy shit, it worked. Right?
Oh, it's not just hocus pocus, it really works.
Yeah.
It really worked, but it was not that I'm going to get this coffee and they're going to add the penny, and that kind of thing. It was, I sat there and I embodied it, and I could taste it. I could feel, having that coffee in my coffee cup as I'm driving home, as, this is the end of, a stressful day, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when I sat with the divine in me, and I said, oh, this is what that is. This is what they, if they really want this to work, then this is what I need to do. This is why I'm going to have Instagram. This was the thought process of Instagram before I even did my Instagram. Right? I had started talking about the law of attraction everywhere and just kind of breaking it down. And my yoga instructor said, you need to be on Instagram. And she opened up her Instagram page and showed me it. And she says, really, you do, right? By the time I walked from our poolside to my front door, open my front door, my granddaughter's there, and she said, hey, Nana, how's it going? And I said, oh, this instructor said I needed to be on Instagram because of, me always talking about the law of attraction. Literally, my granddaughter was setting up my Instagram page. Right? And then she says, okay, you're set up. All you have to do is do your first video. If you need help, call me. Right? That's embodiment.
Yeah.
When you kind of just go through the free flow of it, and you can see yourself doing these things, and even if it's tough, even if it's hard, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, if you don't want to own your own business, there is nothing wrong with that. But you have to decide who you are, how you're going to feel about it. If you're working with the right job, or if you want to be an employee, what job do you want to have? What type of employee do you want to do? What type of special projects do you want to do? What's your gifts and your talents, and how you want to use that? Embody that, see it, feel it, become it. If you want peace in the world, then become the peace that you want the world to see and feel, and then go out into the world and be the peace.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So-
Sandra coming. I already know with the bombs, with the bomb, boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
But on that note, I gotta go now because I
Okay.
gotta feed my little puppy. Well, he's not a puppy wuppy. You know my dog. He's 10 years old, but he acts like my puppy wuppy. But he is my guardian, my physical guardian in tow. He takes care of me, and I
Yes.
embody him every day with a thank you. So your world around you is not fake. It's as real as you embody it to be.
Absolutely.
What are you embodying?
Yes.
If you're looking at the world as being negative and condescending and vengeful and spiteful and evil, then that's what you're actually going to get. That's what your world is going to present you with. It's not doing anything to you. It's doing everything because you are the master creator in your world. What are you creating and how are you embodying it?
Yes.
With that, I've got to say I love you. Thank you, because you have taken these last 2 days and made them the most special. Thank you.
We appreciate you, and
Thank you,
definitely
Thank you,
give your puppy
Sandra.
some love for
I love
us
you.
too.
We love you, Sandra.
I love you. I love you guys. So
All right, we'll see
be
you.
spectacular.
Yes,
We'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sandra.
Sumi, I feel like there's something coming through you. I always know when Sumi's getting some downloads because she goes into this, and then it's like she's trying to process what's coming through.
Yes.
I don't know. I've learned that. I'm like, Sumi's getting a download right now. What's coming through you?
Honestly, what's coming through me is some of the things that came from Sandra that I just wanted to add to as well as part of my own experience. I definitely used to be a person in the past that did not understand things wanted to understand so much that I would overly mask, and I started to see myself as, holy shit, I'm a masker. I basically, what you tell me, I just soak up. I'm like, oh my God, I get extremely sensitive. And then I overly maybe will share, or I will overly do something. At the end of the day, then I will get shut. I would just want to shut myself indoors and not want to do anything with people. So it was just this constant anxiety of, oh my God, what are they thinking? Do they all think I have a big nose? Are my teeth crooked? And just all of these things that, not until I started to heal was when every once in a while I'll get in this memory spot where it happens to me even up until now, where I would go back in time like, interesting why I did that, but now I understand why I did. It was because at that moment, that was who and what I needed to be. So a lot of the times in life, we would have negative things come up. It's very important that we also lean into these negative things, because when we don't lean into them, they keep coming up and keep bothering us because we need to tend to them.
Yeah.
They're like kids, right? So I started to pay attention also to the negative entities or negative spirit, whatever you call it. Like, for example, when the feeling of anger comes up, let's say you wake up in the morning, you had a beautiful morning, and then it's noontime, and all of a sudden you're feeling irritated. Why are you feeling irritated by noon? When you woke up in the morning, you were fine. So definitely you can track your steps back to, oh, this must have been the triggering point of why I became irritated. So how about I go back to like fix or help myself not so much fix, but help myself understand why that happened and how I pulled myself into that reality. And now that has happened, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
And I promise you, once you deal with that negative energy and you let it go, that you become so free that you can experience the beauty. And sometimes we don't see the beautiful thing in front of us because we're blocked and blindsided by something that's bothering us. Once you let go of that, you're like, oh, you've been here the entire time.
The whole time. I really appreciate you sharing to me, and I'm sure you have much more to share, but Raymel's phone was like red zone, so I want to make sure we capture this conversation.
We on thin ice, literally. We at 12% now.
Right, I was like, iPhone 20% is like 8%, so yeah. But that was a beautiful gem to drop towards the end, because beauty really is all around us, and we get to choose that. But yeah, anything just around?
I just want to say thank everyone. Thank you, Sumi. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, everyone who was Helen, who's in the comments, Jorge. Just thank you all for this conversation, because even seeing and just honoring Sydney for someone who's in a whole new space, never met any of us or had any exchange, but felt so safe and comfortable to express where she was and allow yourself to be held with love. I honor you, and it just makes me appreciate this co-creation my sister Angelique and I have done with Healing Conversation. Like, I believe we're we're going on to a year next year of doing this, and it's so embedded in us now. It's like we just got to do it because it's bigger than us. And I just see Sydney's and the Helens and everyone who came for what they didn't even know they needed, and now it's just what they continue to stay in for the love, the embrace, and their own healing and expansion. And I just want to take a moment to just share my gratitude for what this creation has done for others, but most importantly myself, because I shed a tear, I let out a laugh. Like, I have my own healing every weekend through just what we share, and I just want to just thank everyone for what you contribute and even what you get from it, because it's such a beautiful space that we get to share and hold together.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I love y'all. I want to make sure we catch this conversation.
Oh yeah,
so.
we're gonna go because then I won't be able to save it. But we love y'all. Thank you, Sumi. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
Happy
We will see you
holidays.
next weekend for Healing Conversation. We love y'all.
All right.